Psalm 91. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him I will trust. Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked, because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near you, your dwelling. For He shall give His angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore I will deliver Him. I will set Him on high, because He has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. Welcome to you both. Didn't I just see you both in North Carolina? Bo, I didn't get a chance to say hi to you. You were at a distance every time I saw you.
Yes, I came to say hi, and you were doing a podcast, and I was actually only there for one day because the day before that I had to fly to Minneapolis, so it was a very busy weekend, and well, what a pleasure it is to be here with everybody. So God bless you, and what an exciting time to be speaking.
Well,
it was a good time in North Carolina.
It was a good time in North Carolina. We're excited. I got a text from you, Andrew, yesterday when we went to 34, almost to 35. So they pushed it back today. What are your thoughts, Bo and Andrew, about where we're at? I had an analyst that I've known for a long time today tell me, without even blinking an eye, he believes it's going to 60 within the next days.
Right. So what was our target? $68. Okay, so we've been saying that for about a year now. Our target $68 when what happens? When silver breaks above $32. Okay, so go back to listen to all our podcasts. Everything is playing out exactly like we talked about. That's the beautiful thing about understanding timelines and understanding patterns and cycles. So we had a 27 roof that broke. And then when I met you, or we seen you at your gathering, Pastor Dave, back in May, 27 was broken and it was shooting into $32. That's exactly what happened. Since May, it hit the roof of 32, I think 5-6 times. And I kept saying is when it breaks above 32, it's God's time. It's game on. It's time to run, because when silver breaks 32, this is really important. God's moving upon the world, because when silver explodes and it goes to about $50 into $60, these will be new all-time highs. And this is the birth of God's kingdom. So we're at a moment in time where the world is about to experience a whole new, something completely new that we truly cannot even understand. But it's basically what we've been talking about and praying for. It's the birth of God's kingdom on earth, the birth of the body. So we're stepping into, in November, November specifically, going to be the start of the great worldwide harvest that we have been speaking about for I don't know how long already, and waiting for generations, right? So what we've been waiting for the start of the greatest harvest in human history is about to begin. But it starts with silver. And again, what have we said? If you look at a racetrack of horses, the last horse out of the gates is silver. How many times have we said that? Go back and listen to our podcast, okay? The last horse out of the racetrack, out of the gates, is silver. So first was Bitcoin, then gold, and the last one to get out of the gates is silver. But then the first horse to get to the top is silver. So silver is going to be about to begin to run like you've never seen before. And Andrew can even confirm this as well, too, because if we go back to the charts on the year 2011, so the in-ground ratio for gold to silver Everybody write this down. The ratio that God made is about 10, maybe 15 to 1, depending on who you speak to. So when you mine for gold, for every ounce of gold you pull out of the ground, you typically get between 10 to 14, 15 ounces of silver. Okay, so that's called the God ratio. The God ratio for gold versus silver is about, say, 15 to 1. What happened in the year 2011? That God ratio hit 30 to 1. When we've been talking for the past 2 years, roughly, it's been 80 to 1. So with gold right now at 2,700, with silver getting out of the gates, it got out of the gates, the horse race, it's out. When it got above 32, the next immediate target is now $68. It's going to pull back from that, but it's not going to take months. We're talking days to no later than a few weeks. This thing's gonna, but the day that it goes, and it could be as early as even this Friday, the 25th. If not, it could be next week. Okay, so we're this close for all that happening. The roof at 32. This is important because remember, we're talking biblical times, not political. So 32 was broken in tabernacles. Mm-hmm. It broke on the Friday, the 18th we're still in tabernacles. And today you were just stating just now, Pastor Dave, that what did you say? That, as early as tonight, something could start to trigger manifest. Well, why is tonight important? Because if you go back, it was the last day of tabernacles in the year 2023, last year. So tonight into tomorrow is the day that Israel was struck by Hamas. So it was the last, as tabernacles ended, that was the strike on Israel. So tonight into tomorrow is a very important time point. And then tomorrow, as we've talked about in probably 30, 50 of our podcasts, we've always said, watch October 24th, 2024. Yep. That's tomorrow. And now look at all the chaotic events that are manifesting and we're stepping into here, the date of October 24th. And so I wanted to show this chart here, and then Andrew can take over. But have a look at this chart. This is the October cycle, okay, where this is October calendar, our calendar, and then I overlaid into it the Hebrew calendar. What I want people to see is specifically what we're looking at here. Today's the 23rd. Tomorrow is what's called day 8. So tomorrow, the 24th, is a celebration of singing and dancing with a Torah, signifying the completion of a yearly cycle of Torah readings and the beginning of the next Torah cycle. So in other words, tomorrow evening into Friday starts, this is so important, tomorrow evening into Friday starts the year 2025. So tomorrow into Friday, this week, I do expect something to trigger, something to start. And again, we don't know what it's going to be. Again, we're looking, there's going to be some type of a surprise that's coming, but something's going to happen here as Tabernacles is ending, as the 24th, we're stepping into tomorrow, the 24th, and into this weekend. And the cycle charts are indicating that today silver is down by maybe like 80 cents or roughly a dollar while we're speaking. And it's supposed to reverse tomorrow potentially. And by Friday, we're supposed to start seeing very powerful moves to the upside for precious metals. So something's about to begin this week, this Friday into next week. And if we're seeing precious metals jumping vertically, historically, when you see precious metals exploding vertically, Andrew also can confirm, it's usually during times of war. So, and then we're still expecting an October surprise. I do believe that's going to be tied in with whatever wars, or, the October surprise, the hunt for Red October, and the prophecy is the hunters become the hunted. So a bit of a long introduction, but I just wanted to talk about the importance of $32 silver, how it broke last Friday, the 18th. It's game on. It's confirming what even Pastor Dave is hearing. The $60 is next. So for those that think that, $34 silver is expensive, people, you haven't seen anything yet. No. Silver is going to 3 digits. And I wanted to say this. So gold, Andrew, and then take it from here. When 2011, when silver hit $49 and gold went over 2,100 roughly, the ratio hit 30 to 1. Remember, the in-ground ratio is, say, 10 to 15 to 1. But at the top of the markets in 2011, the ratio hit 30 to 1. So right now at $2,700 gold, listen very closely, everybody, at $2,700 gold, a 30 to 1 ratio right now at this moment in time would put silver minimum at $90 an ounce. That's 30 to 1. So I just wanted to give a nice long introduction, but have people understand the importance of silver. It is the indicator of what's going on in the world. And so we are at critical mass right here. Something biblical is about to manifest.
Absolutely. I mean, we had $35 silver yesterday. And just to kind of give people an idea, and we talked about this the last time we got together. So if you see me looking down, I'm actually pulling up the charts. So silver was $23.82 on January 1st of this year. So 23.82. That means that it was basically up about 49% on the year before today. So now it's up about $10 an ounce, which is still fascinating. I mean, not too many things out there have done quite as well. I also pulled up the chart for gold. Gold started the year at $2,063 an ounce. And last night, it was just under $2,760 an ounce, which is about a $700 gain for the year. It has since pulled back a little bit. So for me, I always try to buy the dips. But this is just the beginning of it. These have a long way to run for gold and silver. It really does. I can see the potential for $45 an ounce silver with it possibly by the end of the year. I'm not saying that it will necessarily get there, but the way that it's moving, I think that that there's a chance it could happen. But people should know that when you do invest in silver, silver is a longer term hold. You can't necessarily buy silver today with the idea that you're going to sell it in 6 months for more. This is a longer term hold. It's a minimum 2 to 5 years. And I don't mean to suggest in any way that it will take you 2 to 5 years to make money on silver. We can't predict the future, but it's got to be a longer term hold. If you're thinking short term, then gold might be better. And if you did this year alone, you'd be up about 30%. So, and just one more thing about the dates. You mentioned, Bo, that October 24th is a date that stands out, a date that everything points to something happening. Well, the BRICS summit started on the 22nd. It started yesterday. It ends tomorrow. And we haven't received our announcement yet that the BRICS are rolling out the new payment system. So there's a pretty good chance that'll land tomorrow, which is the 24th.
Yeah, I'm told they're planning on announcing on the last day. And that's what this analyst said. And he doesn't follow the Bible stuff at all. He's just talking almost word for word, Bo, what you said. The ratio and where it should be. He thinks in the next couple of days that gold could go to 3,000. As I said earlier, 60 to for silver. He said the train has left the station, but it's not too late. He said you can get on it. It's just a matter of what stop off you're at or where you get on at. It's going nothing but up.
Again, and we joked before, and I truly appreciate the three of us because, Pastor David really knows scriptures and he'll confirm everything from a scriptural standpoint. Andrew's the precious metal expert who was always, on the conservative side because, you want somebody conservative, and I'm the crazy one in the middle. But on the other side of it too, when you put scriptures together with what's going on in the world, it creates what's called an impossible event. And so, like Andrew said, you're right, Andrew. There, $45 by year end, that'd be fantastic. I'm not disagreeing. That'd be fantastic. But here's the part, right? If God intervenes, you can have $45 next week. We can go to $68 next week. And see, so that's the thing, right? So I am still, I understand, I know God has shown me the patterns, and I specifically truly believe that we're going to see biblical. I know the patterns are up, so I can say that. The problem is that, I can have specific targets, but they can be hit sooner or later. So we don't really know when the targets are going to be hit. And so that's why I'm agreeing with Andrew. But on the other side, there is a thing that the CME, so the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, we've referenced this before, and I'll reference maybe for a third time here. They have created, I think it was in 2011 or 2012, they created what's called stops within the movement of precious metals, silver, gold, and even copper, I believe, and platinum. But the markers were for gold. If gold moved $100, it hits they're called breakers, and they automatically shut trading down. If silver moves $3 in a single day, they automatically shut the breakers off. The breakers automatically trigger. All trading stops. There are four triggers, and then after no more, four breakers, and then no more after that. So that would mean that silver, if all of this manifested, you would see silver go $3 breaker, $3 breaker, $3 breaker, $3 breaker, and then that's it. So that would mean you'd see 3 times 4 is $12 in a single day, just on the breakers themselves. And so if we run the math at what silver is right now at $34 to be conservative, plus 12, that automatically hits Andrew's number at $46 silver. Okay, so the triggers themselves written by them, not me. Okay, this is not biblical stuff. This is just things that they read. They wrote the triggers into their plan here, because if there were no breakers, then the banking system would be utterly destroyed because of silver. Silver would absolutely obliterate the banks because it could go so fast, and they are so leveraged. We're talking each contract is 1,000 ounces of silver, and so they're short. I don't know. I don't follow the CME contracts, but I think it's thousands and thousands of contracts that they've got, which is, I can just use the word bajillions of dollars, because the numbers are so big that this could literally obliterate banks in a single day. And so they have to have these breakers to shut down trading so they can exit their short positions. That short positions keep silver down. Just last week, we saw on, I believe it was Monday of this week, because Friday moved $1, I think, or it was at $2 on Friday, whichever. There was a day just past a couple of days ago, we saw silver go $2 in a single day. It was 1 day away from hitting the $1 away from hitting the breaker. Okay, so when this event goes down, we're starting a new calendar year on the Hebrew clock this Friday. We're still in 2024 on the Roman calendar and the Julian calendar into year end. 2024 is the year of release, the year of Jubilee. So we're about to witness something, and we know God shows up at the last minute. So something could trigger here extremely soon, which causes these breakers to be hit. And then that could cause $45 to $46 silver in a heartbeat. And then I look at the next resistance would be around 68, which means that there's another $20 leap potentially in a single day, taking it to high 60s in a single day. And that's what we have coined on this podcast. What we coined for Andrew his beach day. Not that Andrew's going to the beach, but that event would shut down all trading within the United States and probably globally, because Andrew would not know what to sell it for, and then immediately he would be calling out his vendors, and they would not know what to sell it to him for. So everything suddenly shuts down, and I believe that would cause this moment of darkness that the Lord revealed to me years ago with reference to Lazarus, because he was dead in the tomb. And what was the point of Lazarus being dead in the tomb? Pastor Dave, go on this one, because the point of Lazarus being dead in the tomb so the world might see the glory of God.
Yes, because he was in the tomb for 4 days, and Jewish custom is that the spirit and the soul leave the body after 3 days. So nobody but God himself could bring back a human being, and Jesus is God and brought Lazarus back. And 4 is number in the Bible as the world. So there's a lot of numbers and spiritual meaning behind that.
And then Andrew, so what are your thoughts? Why would the CME write breakers and stops into their system? Why would they do it unless they knew one day they would need it, correct?
Yeah, the markets are rigged, and even with the stock market, we've seen that happen. I remember, like, the first time that I remember it actually being triggered in the stock market is when they had that fat finger incident, where they claim that one of the big traders out there had actually hit the wrong button and sent the market it was the first time that the Dow was ever down 1,000 points in a day. So it looks like they've applied that type of trigger system that could kind of stop it like a breaker. If too much electricity goes in, it stops it and gives it a chance to reset, and then we start again. And that's it. They don't want silver to move up on its own accord. They want to have a hand in how much it goes up and when. But we know that can't keep up. I mean, this is fascinating. You've talked about so many things, Bo, and I actually visited with my brother yesterday, who works for the company, and talked to him about the beach day and gave him the history of that. And he watches these podcasts. Both of you have met him, and he never heard that part before. And I explained to him that there was a time when gold and silver are likely to go up so much that I won't know what to sell it for. And then you asked me what I would do. And I said I would head to the beach and just enjoy that day until it became more clear what to sell the metal for. But after a few months of talking about that, it alarmed so many people. Like, what if I need to make a move in my IRA and Andrew and his team are at the beach having a good time? So I had to backpedal on that and say, well, we're still going to be here. It was just more of like, we can't sell silver for a little bit because we need to see what it's going for. And we won't know what it's going for until we know what our replacement cost is. But this is, I've had people call me out on something that I say a lot, like what's good for gold is great for silver. And they've looked at short terms, like a week, and say, Andrew, how could you say that? Because in this week, gold has been way better than silver. And I say, no, you need to look at a much larger time frame. So you look at this year with the numbers that I just gave you here earlier, with gold being up $700 an ounce almost this year, that's about a 31 or 32% gain, which is amazing. But silver's gone from like 23.82 to about 33.60, which is about a 48 to 49% gain. So what is good for gold is great for silver. And for anyone out there that does have history investing, it doesn't matter if it's gold or silver or stocks, the longer you hold something and the longer that you're in a profitable position, once it starts going up, like on a good day, if it goes up 3%, like right now, a 3% gain on silver is $1. If silver goes up $1 in a day, that's a 3% gain. Bo told me by text that right now we're in dollar days because silver's 30 something dollars. It can go up or down $1 and it's not really a big deal. That's why it being down $1.20 today really means nothing. It means reach in your pockets and get more of it because we know it's going to bounce right back. But imagine when silver's $100 an ounce, okay? Then we're in $3 days because a 3% gain is equal to $3 then is the same as $1 now. And that's why if you hold it long enough, it'll pay off.
Amen. All right.
Beverly Hills Precious Metals Exchange is a client-focused firm devoted to assisting our clients with precious metals. Our clients range from first-time to serious coin collectors and investors seeking to add precious metals to their investment portfolios. We are not interested in volatile investments, leveraged products, and intangible assets. With rising inflation and the devaluing of the dollar hurting middle-class families, investing in gold and silver ensures protection for your hard-earned money. Save the value of your money today by investing in gold and silver at Beverly Hills Precious Metals.
And we're back with Bo Polny and Andrew Sorchini of Beverly Hills Precious Metals. I'm going to flip this next thing to you both to get your input. You've been talking about something significant potentially happening in the next 24 hours. How about this? BRICS and Russia are meeting. They haven't implemented the new trading system. There's talk about Operation Sandman as soon as tomorrow. And oh, by the way, Israel is preparing to strike Iran, their oil facilities, and their nuclear facility. This is not a ping, just a small strike that they're looking at. This is going to be a devastating strike. One of those two items hits the world. What happens?
Andrew, why don't you start off?
With if that happens, what people always do, they become less greedy when it comes to their traditional investments, and they always go to gold and silver. They always do, because it's portable wealth, just like real estate. Well, real estate is real property, but it's not portable, and that's why gold and silver have an advantage over it. Also, it's more liquid than real estate and liquid than other investments. So that's always the case. Wars always push the price of gold and silver up. Uncertainty also does. And I think 13 days before the election, part of what we're seeing right now is that uncertainty. And it doesn't end after we know who the next president is, because we've got a lot of work to do as a nation here and globally. So that's what I always tell people for that question.
Yeah, no, it does not end. I'm getting reports that they may be targeting the period between the election and him being sworn into office now because he's doing so well. So to think that once the election comes November 5th, he wins and everything's hunky-dory, it's going to be a battle all the way.
Yeah, so last year I heard about Operation Sandman, so I made this slide right here. So there's your Operation Sandman. So what's Operation Sandman? It's 100 at that time when I made this slide last year. Is 142 countries worldwide repudiate the U.S. dollar currency on a single day and refuse to accept it for payment. So globally, all 100 plus countries in a single day sell the US dollar, and from that day forward, they refuse to accept it as payment. It's interesting when you read scriptures, how long does God need? One day. How was Babylon built? On the money. What money? The Federal Reserve note. What did Putin say? How stupid were they to take the US dollar and to weaponize the US dollar? They weaponized the US dollar. The head of the BRICS is Putin. He's acknowledged that the United States could not have been more stupid to weaponize the US dollar. We've heard about Operation Sandman. And if all nations in a single day sell the US dollar, it'd be very interesting because there's no way I believe the computer models that they have would be able to keep up to the sharp selling that are happening globally. And that would immediately, in a single night, in a single day, cause something historic to the US dollar. The US dollar in a single day would most likely lose of its value, 1/3 of its value overnight. And again, Babylon was built with the money. So let me pull this up here. Babylon was built with the Federal Reserve note. Operation Sandman would cause this to the US dollar. It would cause the dollar to suddenly lose 1/3 of its value overnight. Now, the problem with that happening is they've leveraged the US dollar with derivative contracts. So it's not just a dollar, and the derivative can multiply the dollar by hundreds of fold. So this would cause immediate and sudden derivatives to explode and bonds to explode. Now, I find it interesting, Pastor Dave, because when we talk about bondage, that's exactly what we're in. When you read Jeremiah 30, it states very clearly that I, the Lord God, will remove the yoke from off of your neck. Now, what's the yoke? Bondage. So then we tie that in. So you want to put all a bunch of pieces together. So now let's tie that in with Kim Clement. So what did Kim Clement state? I don't have the video right here, but I can tell you precisely what his words were. And I've actually made a slide out of it. It says, the brothers of Goliath. So who are the brothers? Well, the brothers would be Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. You see, the brothers are giants. They're just not the giant, right? So they're giants, giant nations, but they're not the giant. Who is the giant? The United States. How has the giant been built? With what? The Federal Reserve note. So now we're looking at the prophecy. It says the brothers of Goliath, the BRICS nation, stand in glee. And here's the word. What does it say? What did Kim Clement say? We, the BRICS nations, will cripple you. Mm-hmm. If Operation Sandman, if that is how this is going to go down, regardless of Operation Sandman, the prophecy holds because God does not lie. He cannot lie. He spoke through Kim Clement, who prophesied Trump would have 2 terms. He's about to step into a second term, but before and during when all this goes down, Trump comes to rebuild the United States. So my point I'm trying to show with this slide is we've talked about Operation Sandman. Pastor Dave just brought it up. The Kim Clement prophecy, the brothers of Goliath stand in glee, we will cripple you. The BRICS are meeting as we speak, and they're supposed to be announcing potentially tomorrow, the 24th, whatever they're going to announce. Are they going to cripple the United States? We will cripple you. Will they sell suddenly globally the US dollar via Operation Sandman? It would be fascinating to see all this play out on specifically the last day of Tabernacles today, which would correlate to the attack of Hamas on Israel into tomorrow. And then tomorrow is a number, the date that we have spoken about for 2 years on this podcast. We have spoken about October 24th. Remove the zero. It's a 1, 2, 4 in the year 24. So it's 1, 2, 4, 2, 4 tomorrow. Tomorrow is one of the most powerful days in terms of scripturally that I've been able to find, that we're literally about to witness something here, and where silver is just gotten out of the gate at over 32. Silver is supposed to turn back up tomorrow. My charts are indicating silver and precious metals explode vertical, or leap vertical again this Friday, the 25th. Next week's going to be spectacular. November is going to be even more spectacular for the precious metals. So again, what happened? I guess we'll all just have to wait and see and wait and watch. But again, those who have listened to us, I will tell you, I was at the conference this weekend. You know how many people are just saying, Bo, thank you. Thank you for being on with Pastor Dave. Bo, thank you for hanging out with Andrew. Thank the three of you are so fun to watch. But beyond that, thank you, because I sleep so good every night after listening to you, because now I get it. I understand that I have been lied to for all these years, and now I hold the greatest insurance policy, God's money. And thanks to Andrew and Pastor Dave and you've explained to me how the finances work. Pastor Dave layered in all the scriptures, and Andrew made a means and how you can make it happen. So Andrew made it happen smoothly for everybody. So that's what I was hearing all weekend from people. So I don't know what else to say, except I sleep so good because, again, we've talked about insurance policies, and that's what precious metals are. But most importantly, I just want to do God's will. And God does. We've been the tail long enough, Pastor Dave. We've been the tail and not the head long enough. We've been in bondage long enough. We've been walking through the valley of darkness long enough. We've been walking in the wilderness long enough. Okay? And at some point, God's not a liar. And he wrote, the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. At some point, that is going to manifest, and that ties in directly with flipping of the financial scales, because what did Jesus do when he walked in the temple, Pastor Dave? To the scales.
He flipped the tables.
Bingo. Yeah. Andrew, is it available? Are the spreads starting to go up? Is silver still available? How quick is delivery? Because I'm telling you, those listening, I don't know how much time we got left here. I think we're down to hours. I'm going to repeat that. I truly believe we are not at days. We're definitely not at weeks anymore. Okay. Months, forget about it. Weeks, highly doubt it. Days, maybe. And I'd say more, we're likely at hours right here. So Andrew, availability, how long does it take? Maybe answer a bunch of questions that people might have.
Sure. Well, surprisingly enough, with the metals going up in value, the supply of gold and silver is plentiful right now. It's prior to 2023, the U.S. Mint would sell out of silver eagles every single year. Sometimes it would be as early as March or April, and then they'd actually have to stop selling them and then make more. The reason why I mention that is that affects all the other silver coins out there, even bars and bullion and 90% silver. It affects everything. But in 2023, they didn't sell out of silver eagles. 2024, they've not sold out of them. And I feel like we're getting close here, because certain items like the Philharmonics, which I know, Bo, you've bought some of those in the past, those are not available right now in bulk. I'm starting to see some items like run out a little bit. So I feel like we're getting close. And also people that have reached out to us back in 2021, 2022, earlier this year, they were calling to sell because they knew that they were up, but now they're circling back and buying again. They're getting back in, not because they don't feel that they've missed something because it's up so much, because they're investing with where they think silver is going. They're not too focused on where it's at now. So that's how people really should be. The delivery times are just as quick as ever. With silver, we're shipping them within about 48 to 72 hours. Then it takes about 3 days to arrive. With gold, typically it's overnight. They ship about a day or two after we receive a cleared payment. So it's not going to remain this way. Once silver breaks $49, which I'm not saying I know when that'll happen. But when it hits an all-time high, the demand's going to be so high that the shipping is going to take longer. It's because we're going to be waiting on new product to come in to fulfill the orders that we already have, not just us, but every gold company out there. And also the premiums will go higher because there will be a shortage. And right now it appears that there's not, but truly there is. It only takes one billionaire out there to make a big purchase of either gold or silver, and that'll create a shortage overnight. So it's a good idea to act now.
What about IRAs, 401ks? How long is that taking?
It's those can get done in 2 weeks or less. It sometimes as little as 7 to 10 days. So to just cover which ones can be rolled over into precious metals IRAs, because people are asking that a lot. If you have a 401k that was originated at a firm that you no longer work at, or if you're older than 59 and a half, then there's a good chance you'll be able to roll that over into a precious metals IRA. You can do a 403B, 403A. You can different types of pensions. Those can all be rolled over. Inherited IRAs can be rolled over. Simple IRAs can be rolled over. And also, if you work for the government and you have a TSP, or if you receive money through any government agency in a retirement account, those can be rolled over. So I would reach out and at least find out how that process works. Sometimes people call and they want to learn how it works, and then they opt not to do anything. And we don't really pressure them into doing it, because what we found is that when they're ready, after they've prayed about it and met with their family, it could be days, weeks, months, or even a year or two later, they do come back. So we just want to arm you with the information necessary to be able to know what you're up against when it's time to do it. But we make it a painless process.
And what about the warning that you're running into with the banks, just to give them a heads up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's so the banks are playing a lot of games like they always have. So if you've done a transaction with us and it comes time to pay for it or to send us the funds, and you head over to the bank, if the bank gives you any trouble saying, well, a lot of these gold transactions can be fraudulent, or did you know that once you send the wire transfer that it cannot be sent back, it cannot be retrieved, or how did you receive these bank wire instructions? Please say it's not by email. And they say a lot of things to create this doubt in your mind. And they'll even say things like, okay, call the people that sent you the wire instructions right now and verify with them. Well, what happens if I'm the one that sent the wire instructions and I receive a call right now? I can't take that call while I'm on this live podcast, so I have to let it go to voicemail. So when it goes to voicemail, then the bank implies that, oh, see, that means it was a scam. But that doesn't mean that it was. And they'll say, well, how do you know these people? And all I can tell anybody that goes into the bank, just push back. Push back. I mean, if you have to, just take a deep breath and just take a moment to gather yourself and just go in and say, look, these are my funds. This is my bank account. I can take cash out and hand it to a stranger in the street as a gift if I want to. Okay, this is what I want to do today. And we've had people where the bank even says that they can't do it and won't do it. And they've closed the account and opened accounts elsewhere and actually wired us funds from a different bank. And I can verify it because I saw it come from a different bank. And the banks are really, really, really threatened by gold and cryptocurrency, because either of those, or possibly both together, can eliminate the banks.
That's right.
And they probably will. So if anybody out there has had this happen, what I'm talking about, and I've spoken with hundreds of people to where it's happened to already. But if you run into this, please push back, because if you don't, you're letting them win.
You're exactly right. Precious metals, gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies move you outside their banking institution, their banking means. So in other words, I've said it before very simply, if I wanted to send Andrew a check for some precious metals or send him a wire, the bank would have to either approve the wire or approve the check to have the funds reach Andrew. That's called a middleman system. Meanwhile, I could take a coin, have lunch with Andrew, and give him a silver coin for whatever I wanted to buy, and there is no middleman. Same time, too, I could click a button on my phone and send it over to Pastor Dave's phone, and some cryptocurrency, and there's no middleman. See, so the banks are so threatened by what Andrew just referenced, precious metals and cryptocurrencies, because they're not in control of any of it. So that's so important to understand. You also referenced something, do you really know these people? The bank's going to say, are you sure? Well, how many, might want to ask yourself this time, how many times have you listened to Pastor Dave, myself, and Andrew on podcasts? Have you gone to some reawakened tours? How many times have you shaken our hands? How many times have you seen us on stage? See, you probably know us a bajillion times more than the guy speaking to you in front of you at the bank. You have to understand that too. Okay. So think about that from that perspective. Okay. We're not going anywhere. We've been here for 3 years doing podcasts. Okay. And all we want to do is tell you how great our God is and what he's about to do with their banking system. Andrew, you brought up a beautiful point. Okay. If one billionaire stepped up, let me just tell you, those listening, if a billionaire stepped up, usually a billionaire doesn't have 1 billion. He has usually many, like 1,000 billion is a trillion. So if a billionaire steps up with, say, he's worth $500 billion. If he steps up and says, hey, I want $1 billion worth of silver. Here's why Andrew goes to the beach. Again, it's a joke, but why would Andrew have to shut down all his sales? Not Andrew, okay? When I say Andrew, I mean every single dealer in the United States. Why would every single dealer and all internet sales suddenly shut down? In a single day, all sales of precious metals suddenly shut down. Because why? One billionaire calls up and says, give me $1 billion worth of silver. Guess what? All the above ground silver's gone. Gone. So who knows how long it's going to take to replenish that inventory? It might take months. And even when it happens, then the next billionaire steps up and he'll take the next batch. So the point is, what happens is silver becomes unobtainium. You won't be able to get it. And then someone might sell, hey, I want a cash, I need to buy whatever. So they'll send Andrew some bars, and that's all Andrew's going to have to sell to the next customer. You're not going to be able to buy quantity anymore because the world realizes what? That the financial system's always been a fraud, like we've been talking about. When they come to realize that the financial system's always been a fraud and you've just been lied to, people are only going to want one thing: God's money. It's all they're going to want. It's all they're going to want. And the timeline on this is kind of fun to look at. But this is something that the Lord revealed to me. I wanted to show you, all the viewers, this. This is kind of crazy and awesome at the same time. So I am still waiting for, I believe we truly are going to see an October surprise. The calendar year for the Hebrew calendar ends tomorrow, the 24th, and on the 25th, Friday starts the year 2025 on the Hebrew calendar, but yet on the Roman and the Julian calendar, we are still in 2024. 2024 is expected to be the year of release where God moves upon the world. I wanted to show you there is a calculation, Pastor Dave. I think and Andrew, I think you're going to love this. The Lord revealed to me. Do you know that the United States has an expiration date? The United States has an expiration date. And what I mean by that is the corporation. So the corporation of the United States is about to end. I want to show you how God showed me how to calculate this. This is really incredible. So the Declaration of Independence was 1776. And the math is so simple. If you add 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. So you got 248. If you add 248 years to the Declaration of Independence, 248 years to the Declaration of Independence, you get 2024.
Wow.
So this is the simple math that God, Lord, revealed to me about the end of the United States. The United States, as we know it, is about to end, which means that this is the flipping of the financial scales. The United States is about to go through a death and a rebirth. So, in other words, a baptism. And Pastor Dave, when you show up to all the reawakened tours, what do you know? It's all about the goal is the baptisms, the baptism. So, the United States is about to be baptized. It's going to be judgment and deliverance of America in a single day. It'll be called the Great and Terrible Day that Joel talks about. So something biblical is afoot. We're stepping into the Great Awakening, and then November steps us into the start of the Great Harvest. The greatest time point in human history we have always been waiting for. So in other words, we are waiting for a miracle. This is where we're at. We are waiting for a miracle, because without a miracle, I think we can all agree, we saw what they did in November of 2020. Without a miracle, these people are going to try to do everything that they've done then and then some. So we need a miracle to stop what their agenda is. And we do know that Kim Clement prophesied Trump has 2 terms. We do know that Trump will be set aside for a season. The calculations that I just showed you for the end of the United States is here and now. So something's about to transpire. We have the Bob Jones prophecy that stated that we step into the greatest harvest in human history, meaning the billion-soul harvest begins after the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Well, that happened in February of 2024. So if there was ever a time to own precious metals, Haggai 2 verse 8, the silver and the gold are mine, saith the Lord. If there was ever a time to own precious metals, those listening, you're staring at it. This is the moment in time. As excited as some of the phone calls I'm sure Andrew's getting right now about, my goodness, it's like, wow, I'm so happy that I listened to you guys. I'm so happy that I own precious metals, gold and silver. I'm so happy. Like I heard the conference this week, and I'm so happy that, I've moved my position, my finances, my 401k, my IRA. I'm owning precious metals. I'm so happy that I just don't own digits anymore, but I actually own a real hard asset. I'm so happy. But we haven't seen anything yet. And so we're stepping into the greatest time point in history where I believe days to more so even hours away from this manifesting. So I'm actually so excited to hear that Andrew still has availability right now. But I'm telling you, Andrew, please expand on again, if a billionaire steps up, how fast things can change.
Well, to just give an idea, about maybe 3 years ago or so, Elon Musk started doing these tweets about like Dogecoin. He just put put a picture of a dog as a tweet, only that. And all these people that are loyal followers of his that invested in cryptocurrency would go and invest in Dogecoin. They figured that Elon Musk was pumping it up. And they've always done that with anything that he does in regards to crypto. They did it with Bitcoin when he announced that he made a big purchase with the Tesla ledger in Bitcoin. Well, we could see that happen similarly with precious metals. The difference is that the amount of silver above ground that is available for sale could really be gobbled up by any millionaire out there or billionaire out there that's trying to do a significant purchase. I can reference that with a couple of years ago. A lady did do a $50 million purchase, not through me, but through one of my competitors. And he had to go through all the different wholesalers that we use to be able to fulfill that order. And it created a big squeeze, and that led up to the end of 2022 with there being a shortage. And back then, silver was $18.50 an ounce, and Silver Eagles, the premium was about $15 to $18 above the spot price. So it could cost you as much as $36.50 2 years ago to be able to buy one Silver Eagle. That's the effect that one billionaire buying only $50 million worth of silver had on the silver market. Now they can do this with something similar with gold. They could do a much larger purchase. What if they did 100 million or 200 million? This could wreak havoc on this industry for more than a year. So it really is fickle in that regard. So it's good to get as much as you can, physical gold and silver. And let's not forget that we've been doing this for so long now. It's been 3+ years with me and Pastor Dave, like 3.5 years. Yep. We started this talking about inflation. The gold and silver are the best hedge out there to inflation. We've not talked about that in a long time, but they still are. When you have gold go up like 30% in a year, and you have silver go up 48 or 49% in a year, most of the items that you buy, goods and services, every single day have gone up probably 20, 25%. You've offset it with gold and silver if you've invested in it. Plus you have the opportunity to have it grow inside of your portfolio. But really that's our secondary goal. The primary goal is to preserve what we have. And if you've done that in the last three to 3.5 years, congratulations. You should give yourself a good pat on the back because you've done well for you and your family. And thank you so much for trusting in us all this time. But you've made a good move and it's far from over.
I want to finish this. I think we're hours away, days to hours away. Andrew, how do people find you should they at the last minute here want to do something?
Well, go to bh-pm.com. Every single page there has a free consultation form. Fill that out. Okay, put in your name, email address, phone number, and under the how you heard about us part, put gold 2020 forecast or Bo sent me or Bo Polny. And then there's a note section. The note section is so important because what you put in there determines which person, which one of my associates that I ask to call you. And I do read every single one of them. So first, I would like to say that sometimes people will say things like, hey, I reached out last week, but I don't recall receiving a call from anybody there. So put second request. That has me put you to the top of the queue, and we always make sure that you're called right away. And if you're interested in learning how to roll over a 401k or an IRA, put that in there. I've got an IRA team that's just they have this down to a science. They could let you know if you're eligible for it, which you likely are. They can let you know if it works within your time frame, and they could explain any questions that you might have. If you've been obtaining gold and silver over the years and don't really need a consultation, put that in there, because I'll just send you over to someone that can call you, find out what it is that you usually invest in, and tell you what the cost is and help you understand how to move forward. But right now, we can get back with you within about 24 hours.
It's coming. Oh, and Andrew, thank you. That wraps up today. Go in his shalom.